Our next section in our unit review, semester review guide, is simplifying the following fractions, making sure we show all of our work, and circling our final answers. So 12, 13, and 14 are all fractions that we want to simplify. Make sure we write it in simplest form. And when we're doing these and when you are simplifying on homework or on tests, on your final, make sure you show me exactly what you are dividing both your numerator and denominator by to simplify. So my first question is 36 70-seconds. I'm going to divide both numerator and denominator by 36. Now, if we did not recognize right away that we could divide both numerator and denominator by 36, you could start with dividing by 2, since we know both of those numbers are even. So when you divide 36 by 36, that is just 1, and 72 by 36, that is 2. So our final answer is just 1/2 for that one. Number 13, 21 over 35. I realize both of those are multiples of 7. So I'm going to divide both numerator and denominator by 7. End up getting 3/5. 14 is negative 16/88. And when I simplify, my final answer should be also negative, since I'm just simplifying the numbers, not changing the sign. So both 16 and 88 can be divided by 8. And you end up getting negative 2/11 for that one. Now the next two are changing decimals into fractions. So my first one is 0.04. I want to write that as a fraction, and I write it in simplest form. So for this, the way you read it, the way you write it. So that's 4/100ths. So it's 4 over 100. And I want to simplify that, so I know I can divide both numerator and denominator by 4. You end up getting 1/25, which is the most simplest form for that fraction. Now number 16 is 0.875. I want to write that as a fraction. So again, the way you read it is the way you write it. It's 875 over 1,000. 875 thousandths, since it goes to the thousandths place there. And I can divide both numerator and denominator by 125. Again, if we didn't realize that both of those could be divided by 125, we could start with 5 and continue that process until we can't simplify any longer. You end up getting for this one 7/8 for your final answer there. Now we look at number 17. That one might look a little familiar to you guys. It's writing the fraction 7/8 as a decimal. Now number 16, we actually changed the decimal form into that fraction, so we should automatically know that that is 0.875. Now on your final or on any homework, on any future tests, if we need to change a fraction into a decimal and we didn't already know what that decimal form should be, the way we show our work is we would do top dog in the house. You guys to remember that, meaning we are going to write our numerator inside the division house. So it would look something like this, and we would do our long division that way. Now number 18 says we're going to compare 1 2/3 and 1 8/12, and we're going to say whether one is less than, greater than, or equal to the other. So I'm going to look, and I notice this 8/12 here. I can simplify that by dividing both numerator and denominator by 4. So I'm going to do that first. So that ends up being 1, and then 8 divided by 4 is 2, 12 divided by 4 is 3. So I find out that 1 8/12 is the same as 1 2/3. So I end up saying that those two are equal. So I'm going to circle that equal sign there. Number 19 is on the stock market. 4 companies had stock price changes of 2/3, negative 36/100ths, 2/10, and negative 1/4 point. List the numbers in order from least to greatest. Least to greatest is one of the most important parts of this problem for us. So what I'm going to do here is change each one of these into fraction form, or into decimal form first, to compare those, and then put them back in order in their original form. So make sure we write original form, just so we remember to do that at the end. So 2/3 is actually 6/10. That's repeating there. We already have this one in decimal form, 36/100ths. This one as well. And then negative 1/4 is negative 0.25. So now I'm going to write these from least to greatest. So the smallest number, negative 3600. Then we have negative 1/4, 2/10, and 2/3. And that is my final answer, so I'm going to circle that. And the last question on this page, 3 bags of candy weigh 3.821 pounds, 4.06 pounds, and 2.58 pounds. And we want to know what is the total weight of bags. So all we're doing here is just adding. And this is testing to make sure we know how to line up our decimals. And we're adding numbers with different decimals here. So 4.06, and 2.58. Now I added those 2 extra zeros on 4.06 and 2.58, so we have the same amount of decimal places in all 3 numbers, just to make sure we lined them up all correctly. So we're going to add like normal. 1, 8 plus 6 plus 2, 16. 14. Make sure we bring down that decimal place. That's why we line those decimal places up. So 3 plus 4 plus 2, adding that 1 there, is 10.461. Now, since this is a word problem, we make sure that our answer is in complete sentences. So our final answer should say, the total weight of bags is 10.461 pounds. And that should be our final answer for that one. Making sure we use the context, making sure we're wrapping in math, having our proof right there. Always remember, when we have word problems, we have to answer in complete sentence, complete thought, and we should be fine for that one, making sure we use any unit that they give us. So in this case, it's pounds.